what do I say? If anybody saw the Avengers Infinity War, I don't think there's anything to say. It's done some ballsy things. And I'm looking forward to the Avengers Endgame. Even though it's going to be a last ride with a few of the Avengers. Let's just see what Cinema Sins has to say about this.
Even forgiving the 9 seconds of black screen, this logo takes up 34 seconds for one studio. Thanos supposedly kills half of the people he encounters. So is this half of what was left of Asgard? Because it looks like a whole lot more. I'm also wondering, since Asgard lost so many at the hands of Kate Blanchett in Thor Part 3, does Thanos update what constitutes 50% population of a planet? Or should we give him a pass since he couldn't possibly know the devastation Asgard just went through?
He probably didn't know.
Or your brother's head.
This 2-hour and 30-minute incomplete movie where Thanos locates all the Infinity Stones is only necessary so that Thanos can snap half the universe's population to death, just so he can be lazy. All this trouble he's going through to find Infinity Stones. He could have traveled planet to planet and did this job faster, like 6 years ago when we were introduced to him in the first Avengers.
We don't have the Tesseract. It was destroyed on Asgard.
If Thor doesn't send Loki down into Odin's trophy room at the end of Thor the Third, does the Tesseract survive it and float around in space? And does Thanos' quest end when he realizes he can't possess the Space Stone? Does the snap only produce impotent sparks at that point? It's a hypothetical, I grant, but I'm sending it anyway.
We have a Hulk.
Why does Hulk hold back during the battle while Thanos destroys the Asgardian ship until the end when Loki says we have a Hulk? What the f*** was he doing before then? Thanos destroys Hulk with only one stone in his glove. Later, with many stones in the glove, his punch will be held by super angry Captain America, after going toe-to-toe with Iron Man on Titan for a good bit. And the power distribution / comparisons in the MCU have never felt more squirrely than in this movie. Also, where's Valkyrie? Valkyrie should have at least been shouted out in this movie.
Oh!
Odin Valkyrie got half my people away to safety, is all Thor had to say later. Just who the f*** is this guy? We've sat through 8...
Oh yeah, he does bring up a good point. Where the hell is Valkyrie? Fun fact, Valkyrie is actually a bisexual from what I've seen in some wikis or something.
15 goddamn films. And if I'm remembering correctly, 75% of the MCU has been Thanos bitching about traffic on the freeway. And we haven't once been introduced to these powerful f***s that follow him around or why he needs them.
Find them, my
They're gonna die anyways.
to me on Titan.
Sure, put Infinity Stone retrieval in the hands of your henchmen. That worked so well in the 39 other movies. Didn't you literally grumble, fine, I'll do it myself? Oh no, Loki's gonna die, again. Like in Thor the Dark World, which definitely means he's probably not dead. And even if he is, I'm sending it anyway, because that Dark World scene did not get sent enough. In previous movies, we were told Hulk and Banner have different memories, so how does Banner remember the Hulk alone knows? Tony Stark, famous Avengers, running around Central Park, and nobody's bothering him. This guy is more famous than any president or celebrity in history.
Tony Stark?
Do normal people see this? While I know New Yorkers are up on their Avengers knowledge, I'm not quite so sure they've been informed about the masters of the mystic arts.
Big bangs and 6 elemental crystals, huddling across the virgin universe.
If the universe is infinite, or at least close to it, then these stones were sent in directions that should have guaranteed no one could ever combine them all, just based on sheer math. Also, why 6?
2 weeks ago, Vision turned off his transponder. He's offline.
Okay, if he had a f***ing transponder and knew it, he wouldn't have waited until 2 weeks ago to turn it off. So this is some bullshit here.
Kit and I fell out hard. We're not on speaking terms.
Really? What was that letter Cap sent you at the end of Civil War then? He specifically said if you need me, I'll be there. All these dudes are superheroes, and they all sense something sinister is happening outside. But instead of instantly leaping into battle, they take several seconds to gape like children at the strange noise, like dickheads. The alien ship causes Peter's Spidey sense to go off, and Homecoming didn't give us any indication Spidey sense even existed. And now...
Yeah, Spider-Man one of the biggest problems with Spider-Man Homecoming is that there wasn't a freaking spider sense. And his hair rise up to indicate his spider sense? What the fuck, man?
This movie is just thrusting it on me like, well, almost like they forgot it was a thing and are only now implementing it.
I need you to cause a distraction. We're all gonna die!
Ned, you are a treasure. Maybe none of the
kind
on
of.
the bus see Peter do this, but plenty of other drivers and passengers on this bridge do. And in the age of smartphones and dash cams and government surveillance, this transition was definitely seen and captured on film, and Peter's cover is blown forever.
I'm pretty sure they were too far away to see it.
What's the matter with you kids? You never seen a spaceship before?
Yeah, sure. They've seen a spaceship, and it usually means bad things. I've seen
Rest
a
in
tornado
peace.
before. That doesn't mean that when it happens, I'm going to sit on the bus reading Madame Bovary.
Bring me the stone.
Dude, a minute ago you were making metal fly with a flick of your wrist. Why do you even need the futuristic space axe dude to do this for you?
I need to concentrate here for a second.
Bruce's Hulk transformation troubles become an impotence metaphor. And does that mean when he's successful, it's like he's a huge green boner? And what does that say about his character? That he can only become erect when he's angry? This is the most embarrassing Mark Ruffalo's been since In the Cut. I realize that nanobots are legit real-world science, to a degree, but Tony's suit is applying it in ways that make it utterly unbelievable. Here's some we definitely won't use later when it could sway the fate of the universe. I mean, there are much more important and dangerous hands that this could be used for to cut off in this film.
Unlock 17A.
Thank fucking God Stark had pre-designed and built and voice programmed for deployment a space-worthy Iron Spider-Man suit in the, I'm guessing, a few months since Spider-Man Homecoming?
Friday, send him home.
Why didn't the suit just fly him back to wherever Tony wanted him to go? If you're telling me that the suit doesn't fly, then why doesn't it? If the suit does fly, then there's no need for the parachute send-off, especially if you've got Friday controlling. Somehow after that massive battle that ended in that one park, Banner retraced his steps and found Tony's phone in the rubble, like a needle in a haystack calls and thinks you're making this too difficult. Well, this is 100% definitely not a reaction to CinemaSins complaining about text place names in movies being used when they're unnecessary. This is 100% definitely not a reaction to CinemaSins complaining about text place names in movies being used when they're unnecessary. Of all the retro references to...
Again with CinemaSins sending text.
Make. Groot is playing Defender. What a fucking infuriating video game. Why is he even playing ancient Earth games anyway? Aren't there modern alien games?
I never played that game, by the way.
That Thor is convenient and illogical, but I do love Fig Newtons. After that encounter with a sudden new alien being, Groot is still playing handheld video games. There comes a point when a parent's got a parent, and clearly no one aboard this ship ever did that. So Groot ends up like that affluenza kid in Texas, and everyone around him acts like, oh snap, he's such a bad seed, why didn't anyone do anything?
He is anxious, angry. He feels tremendous loss and guilt.
So basically every single American then? Or even every human? Aren't we all anxious, angry, and feeling lost these days? Mantis's empath revelations are more obvious than Forrest Whitaker's in Species.
Who the hell are you guys?
That's an awfully rude way to greet people you don't know. I once woke up in this room and this dude tried to do all this gnarly to me with these strange tools, and I was like, who the hell are you? And he said, I'm your fucking dentist, asshole. Dr. James Packard DDS was tough, but fair.
Thanos retrieves another stone. He'll be too powerful to stop.
He already is.
How exactly did they expect to stop Thanos, who doesn't even need Infinity Stones to be powerful, but already has 2 of them? Plus, Thanos needs Gamora to get the Soul Stone. Keeping Gamora away from Thanos is strategy 101, but because there's no time, they hastily conjure up some no-ass plan. Vision and Wanda are supposedly on the run and hiding out from, I guess, the government, but this apartment or hotel room is large as this looks like a honeymoon, not a couple on the lam. Romancing the stone! Also, they went from kind of maybe flirty to kissy-face hotel buddies, and deeply in love. Entirely off-screen. Look, this...
Yeah, somebody pointed out that the love story between the two is kind of pointless, and I asked, what the hell was the point then? They hooked up in the comics. So, why not do it here?
This is the fucking MCU. I refuse to believe anything is an accident, and I'm losing sleep trying to unravel the meaning of we will deep fry your kebab. Is it a promise? A threat? A guarantee? A cipher key? The sign is taking up way more screen space than Wanda's face. It has to mean something. How the did that alien assassin sneak up on an android without being heard or seen or sensed?
The blade. It stopped me from facing.
That's literally the only explanation this movie's gonna give for why the 2 most powerful Avengers end up needing help from some punchy fools like Black Widow and no longer Captain America. Wanda is hand-to-handing this henchman. She's a magic witch that fooled all the minds of the Avengers with false visions of awful futures at once. Why does she have to throw her mind powers at people? Why did Cap need to make a dramatic entrance into this scene? And why on the other side of the tracks? Why isn't he helping already? And in the time it took both Scarlet Witch and Proxima to figure out who it was, either of them could have potentially won the fight while the other was distracted. Audience applause break. Guns. These henchmen failed.
Hey, guns are awesome!
The stone they were sent after, and they peace out to save their own skin. And I'm pretty sure even they know that Thanos values the stones over his henchmen. So what the f*** are these minions thinking, bailing out like this?
Stay close, check in, don't take any chances. We just wanted time.
You know, to figure out the whole having sex with a synthetic vibranium body thing. It's a lot tougher than you'd think. I hope Thanos is keeping count during all this disorder and chaos, because I can't figure out how many are dying at first glance. But I'm sure he knows how to keep the death at halfsies.
Well, he's Thanos.
The fact that Thanos would ever have stopped on his kill quest for even a moment because of a cute kid is a big pill to swallow.
You're quite the fighter, Gamora.
She asked a question. That's it. She's displayed zero fighter characteristics. She's inquisitive, confused, scared, guileless, but a fighter she is not. This half-genocide scene illustrates a curious character detail in Guardians of the Galaxy, when they told us Gamora was the only survivor.
If Thanos gets me,
Wait.
Guardians of the Galaxy.
What? Are you kidding me?
They told us Gamora was the only survivor.
if Thanos gets me, I want you to promise me you'll kill me.
One other thing you could do, just find a distant planet to live on, lay low, find a cave, maybe find Spock, and don't allow Thanos to ever get near you.
Swear to me, your mother.
Movie characters think that a promise will be a bond if they swear on a loved one, but of course it doesn't work that way, cliche. I realize she has a hate boner of justice, but God, what was she thinking? She's the one that's been reminding others how fucking powerful Thanos is. Premature self-reprobation.
You knew I'd come.
I counted on it.
So he assumed that the Guardian ship would get the distress signal from the Statesman. They'd follow it. They just so happened to run into Thor. He'd tell them about the Reality Stone and that she would agree to come here? This is fucking impossibly brilliant. He didn't even tell Thor he'd be coming here. He just told his minions to get the 2 stones on Earth and meet him at Titan.
Hang on a second. Sorry, I had to plug in my laptop.
Brilliant. He didn't even tell Thor he'd be coming here. He just told his minions to get the 2 stones on Earth and meet him at Titan. The only reason he pulls the trigger here is because the movie knows it's going to undo the act and keep Gamora alive for now. His love for her and dopey puppy dog nature 100% does not jive with his willfully pulling the trigger here. Why do Drax and Mantis go back to normal when Thanos leaves? The stone powers aren't proximity based, but somehow the damage he did was only temporary. This is a hologram of Ross, whose physical body is in a completely different room somewhere in the country. And yet he's able to walk around this room, like he's physically in this one. Is he in a replica room with a virtual reality display? And if so, there should be a camera somewhere in here tracking his eye movements so he can face the right way when he's talking to people, right? No one in this movie should own a Rickenbacker bass and have it displayed on a floor stand in some kind of library. This guitar is the biggest lie the MCU ever told. I've played one of these. Tell me, Congressman, have you ever played a Rickenbacker bass?
Where's the fight?
Fucking Bucky. Are we just gonna gloss over the fact that a Stark shoulder missile from Earth easily blasts a hole in the hull of this alien spaceship? The hell is this spray stuff Tony's using here to seal the breach in the ship's hull? Nano magic? Canned convenience? It's magic whiz and it's cheesing me off. Way to introduce a new character in the movie in the 19th film of a franchise and completely kill him off in an hour. Darth Maul and Ebony Maw are now in some 7th circle of movie franchise hell, where they were told they were special and mull their fates with Maul Flanders at the Hades Mall.
So I say we take the fight to him.
Granted,
They never bothered with the alien reference and stuff.
the ship you're on is going to him, and you haven't stated declaratively that you can turn the ship around, despite being asked twice by Strange. Maybe this is less of a choice than the movie or Tony wants to make it seem.
Your planet was on the brink of collapse. I'm the one who stopped that. You know what?